Everyone knows and loves Sonic. Him and Mario are both some of the biggest icons in video gaming. Both have successful movie franchises. We now have a full Sonic the Hedgehog cinematic universe, with 3 films, a TV series, and a 4th movie on the way, while Mario has 2 movies and several spin-offs planned. And one has a failed sci-fi attempted film from the 90s. Wait, Sonic also almost met the same fate in the 1990s. There is a long list of failed attempts at Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Sonic Armageddon from the early 2000s, Sonic Wonders of the World, and a shelved Sony project in the 2010s. But there's an even earlier cancelled film that went largely unnoticed because its details were hidden for decades. In 2024, a physical script draft was bought on eBay and revealed live on Twitch. What it showed was one of the strangest Sonic adaptations imaginable, very similar to the Super Mario Bros. Movie 1993 in its bizarre nature and tone. The story begins in 1993. Sonic is at the height of his popularity, with hit games on the Sega Genesis, a CD release, and 2 TV shows. Michael Ian Grizzly, a consumer products director at Sega, was tasked with finding a Hollywood distributor. However, Sega of America CEO Tom Kalinske was strongly opposed. He had seen how poorly adaptations like Masters of the Universe, Super Mario Bros., and Street Fighter were received and didn't want Sonic to suffer the same fate. Despite his concerns, Sega eventually partnered in August 1994 with MGM and Trilogy Entertainment Group. Writers Penn Dan Sham and Richard B. Lewis developed a treatment titled Sonic the Movie. It was meant to be an origin story with a serious tone, similar to Batman or Jurassic Park, using animatronics, motion capture, and CGI. The plot is incredibly strange. On a tropical island, a man is chased by snake-like creatures with wolf heads and ultimately devoured by a bizarre ape-like monster with a second head in its forehead. Elsewhere, we meet 17-year-old Jimmy Hedgman, a reckless teenager who gets into trouble with the police. His father, Dr. Hedgman, studies dormant DNA that can repair itself. At the lab, Jimmy interacts with a hedgehog test subject named Squeakers. Soon after, criminals led by a man named Face break in and kidnap his father. During the chaos, Jimmy is injured by glass coated in blue hedgehog DNA, triggering a transformation. As his condition worsens, Jimmy develops super speed, altered speech, and physical changes like blue streaks in his hair. The villain behind it all is Dr. Paul Ellison, a presumed dead scientist with robotic fingers who seeks to eliminate human imperfections through genetic mutation. Jimmy travels to Peru to find his father, transforming further along the way. He is captured by a girl named Amanda and a mutant called Kentaro, whom he nicknames Knuckles. They bring him to a hidden village of mutants, where Amanda gives him the name Sonic after seeing it on his jacket. Eventually, Jimmy embraces his new identity and proves himself in battle. Ellison releases some of his experimental mutants on the mutant village, capturing Knuckles. Knuckles then agrees to hunt down Sonic. This deal doesn't last long as the leader of the mutants is killed, breaking the promise made between them. Ellison, now referred to as Robotnik due to his cold, mechanical nature, reveals his plan to use volcanic energy to spread mutating DNA across the globe. The final act takes place at a volcano base, where Jimmy and his allies attempt to stop him. After a series of fights and escapes, Ellison mutates into a massive monster. Sonic defeats him by destroying the volcano's core, triggering an eruption that wipes out the lab and the DNA supply. The group escapes, and Jimmy's father finally acknowledges him. The film ends with Jimmy joking about how much harder life will be now. After reviewing the treatment, both MGM and Sega quickly rejected it. The tone was far too strange, and it barely resembled the source material. Sonic, Knuckles, and Robotnik were only loosely connected to their game counterparts, and Jimmy rarely even took on the Sonic identity. Feedback on the script pointed out that the villain didn't feel like Robotnik, and that the version of Knuckles was completely inaccurate. It was clear the writers didn't fully understand the source material. While the film might have ended up as a fascinating disaster, similar to the 1993 Mario movie, it also could have permanently damaged Sonic's image. Sega and its partners continued exploring other ideas over the years, leading to multiple additional pitches. Ironically, when Sonic finally made it to theaters with Sonic the Hedgehog, it almost suffered one of the worst first impressions ever due to its initial character design. But after a major redesign, the movie was released in February 2020 and became a huge success, helping launch the franchise we know today. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think this movie would have ended up like. Would you have liked it if they actually made it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe. I also want to say I'm sorry for heavily using AI in this video. Usually I just use text-to-speech. I use text-to-speech for personal reasons, so I'd appreciate understanding on that. Finally, I want to thank everyone who subscribed to my channel. I recently hit 200 subscribers, which is a big accomplishment in my book.